Good day, and thank you for watching. If you are dealing with a criminal case in California, there is one concept that affects almost every stage of your case. That concept is probable cause. It is the standard that allows law enforcement to make an arrest, conduct certain searches, and move a case forward. And if probable cause is not present, that can create serious legal issues. Let's start with the basics. Probable cause means that there are enough facts and circumstances to lead a reasonable person to believe that a crime has been committed and that the person involved is connected to that crime. It is not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. It is not even proof by a preponderance of the evidence. It is a lower standard, but it still requires a factual basis. Now, here's where many people make a mistake. They assume that if they were arrested, there must have been a strong case against them. That is not necessarily true. An arrest can be made based on probable cause, which is only an initial standard. The case must still be proven in court. Now, let's talk about how probable cause is used. One of the most common situations is an arrest. Law enforcement may arrest a person if they believe probable cause exists. This can be based on witness statements, physical evidence, observations, or a combination of factors. But here's the key. Those factors must be reasonable. They cannot be based on speculation alone. Now let's talk about search warrants. To obtain a search warrant, law enforcement must present facts to a judge showing probable cause that evidence of a crime will be found in a specific location. The judge then reviews that information and decides whether the standard has been met. If it has, the warrant is issued. If not, it is denied. Now here's another important point. Probable cause can be challenged. Just because law enforcement claims probable cause existed does not mean it cannot be questioned. Let's talk about how that works. In some cases, the defense may argue that the facts used to establish probable cause were insufficient, or that they were based on unreliable information, or even that they were misleading. If a court agrees, that can affect the validity of an arrest or search. Now, let's talk about what happens if probable cause is lacking. If an arrest is made without probable cause, that can raise constitutional issues. If a search is conducted without probable cause, any evidence obtained may be subject to suppression. This means it may not be allowed in court, and that can have a significant impact on the case. Now, let's discuss something called totality of the circumstances. Courts do not look at one fact in isolation. They look at the entire situation, all the information available at the time, and they evaluate whether, taken together, those facts support probable cause. This is a flexible standard, but it still requires a logical connection between the facts and the conclusion. Now, let's talk about timing. Probable cause must exist at the time of the action, not after, not based on information discovered later, but based on what was known at that moment. This is important because it limits what law enforcement can rely on. Now, let's address a common misunderstanding. Some people believe that if evidence is found, that justifies the arrest or search, but that is not how the law works. The legality of the action is based on what was known before the action was taken, not what was discovered afterward. Now, let's talk about strategy. If you are facing a criminal case, one of the first things that should be evaluated is whether probable cause existed. This includes reviewing police reports, witness statements, and any other information used to justify the arrest or search. Identifying weaknesses in probable cause can be an important part of the defense. Now let's discuss hearings. In some cases, the issue of probable cause may be addressed in specific hearings. For example, a preliminary hearing may be used to determine whether there is enough evidence to move forward with a felony case. This is another point where probable cause plays a role. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Probable cause is not just a technical concept. It is a constitutional safeguard. It is designed to prevent arbitrary actions by law enforcement. It requires that there be a factual basis before someone's rights are affected. Understanding this concept is important because it affects how cases begin and how they proceed. Finally, let's talk about expectations. Not every issue with probable cause will result in a case being dismissed, but it can affect how evidence is used. It can influence negotiations, and it can shape the overall strategy of the case. In conclusion, probable cause is the foundation of many actions in a criminal case in California. It allows arrests, it supports search warrants, and it plays a role in how cases move forward. But it is not beyond question. It can be examined, it can be challenged, and it can have a significant impact on the outcome. If you are facing a criminal case, understanding how probable cause applies to your situation is critical. Call us at 888-888-6582. I'm Vince Davis, and we are all in this together.